You know, some people walk around like they own the world, or at least their zip code. That's exactly what happened when she marched up to me at the pool, phone already dialing 911. "You're trespassing," she barked, loud enough for everyone to hear. What she didn't know: I had legal rights, signed documents, and a landlord who helped build the place. That one phone call? It kicked off a chain reaction she could never have seen coming: police reports, lawsuits, and a secret from 10 years ago that would cost her everything. Even the police said, "This is the most satisfying HOA takedown I've ever seen." Buckle up, because you're about to watch a real-time Karen crash and burn harder than anyone before her. Quick question before we get rolling: where are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments. The first splash: how it all started. My name's Kenyon Thorne. I'm a 34-year-old freelance landscape architect who had just moved into a cozy little house in Lakeview Estates. After weeks of unpacking boxes, fixing leaky faucets, and battling an ancient oven, all I wanted was to relax a little. And right across from my place was this gorgeous community pool, sparkling blue, palm trees swaying like something out of a real estate brochure. Here's the kicker. According to my lease with Rowan Hale, my landlord, and one of the original developers of the neighborhood, I had full legal access to that pool. Rowan even joked, "That pool? You helped pay for it when you signed the lease." So one steamy Saturday afternoon, I threw on my swim trunks, grabbed a towel, and headed over. Big mistake. Enter the queen of the zip code. I'd barely set down my stuff when I felt it, a tap on my shoulder like a principal about to hand out detention. I turned and came face to face with her. Pastel tennis outfit. Designer sunglasses perched like a crown. Phone clutched like a weapon. Crossed arms. You know the type. "I'm Sienna Wren, president of the Sunny Creek HOA," she announced, like she expected applause. "Hi. Kenyon Thorne, new in town," I said, offering a hand. She didn't shake it. Instead, she narrowed her eyes like she was analyzing bacteria under a microscope. "You're from Lakeview Estates," she said flatly. "This pool is for Sunny Creek residents only. You'll need to leave immediately." I tried explaining about the agreement, politely, calmly. She didn't care. Before I could even finish, she was already calling the cops, barking about trespassing. And me? Embarrassed, stunned, I packed up and left, feeling about 2 inches tall under the stares of everyone around. The calm before the hurricane. Walking home, something just didn't sit right. Rowan had been clear. The lease even spelled it out in black and white. Tenants shall enjoy full access to the Sunny Creek community pool as per the standing agreement dated June 15, 2013. I called Rowan immediately. He was furious. "Sienna knows about the agreement," he said. "I signed it with her 3 years ago when she became HOA president. This is just her power trip. Ignore her, you have every right." He emailed me copies of everything: signed agreements, county records, even an HOA letter acknowledging my access. Rowan's words rang in my ears. "Sienna's been trying to erase that agreement for years. You're just the first one to stand up to her." The knock that changed everything. Armed with paperwork, I returned to the pool 3 days later. Guess who was waiting? Sienna, flanked by some nervous-looking board member named Kevin. She didn't even let me unroll my towel before launching into round 2. "I thought I made myself clear," she barked. I calmly showed her the documents. She waved them off like I was holding out a grocery list. Without missing a beat, she called the police again. The quiet war begins. 15 minutes later, Officer Asher showed up, a tall, tired-looking cop who clearly had better things to do. After reading my paperwork, he turned to Sienna and said, "Ma'am, he's allowed to be here. This is a civil issue, not criminal." Sienna looked like she might combust on the spot. She pulled the officer aside, trying to whisper furiously. "I overheard just enough to catch this. I will not allow another failure like 10 years ago to happen again." What failure? That sentence lit a fire under me. Something bigger was hiding under all this drama, and I was about to find it. Operation Justice Wake. 2 days later, an official HOA letter landed in my mailbox. A $500 fine for unauthorized facility use. I laughed out loud. LRA Quinn, my attorney friend, reviewed it and said, "They have zero legal standing. This is harassment, plain and simple. Keep every letter. You're building a case." So I started digging. And what I found made my jaw drop. Public HOA documents. Old boundary maps. Property tax records. Sienna and her cronies had been redrawing neighborhood lines to claim parts of Lakeview estates, illegally expanding their HOA borders to boost power and collect extra dues. The allies rally. Quietly, I met with other Lakeview homeowners. Bill, an 80-year-old veteran, told me how Sienna had towed his car from his own driveway. Maria, a nurse, showed me photos of her backyard before and after Sienna claimed it as HOA property. This wasn't about a pool. This was about control. Money. Power. And now, proof. Thanks to Kevin, the nervous board member who secretly passed me meeting minutes and financial documents, I had everything I needed. The big showdown. At the next HOA meeting, the room was packed. Sunny Creek residents. Lakeview residents. Even a few reporters. Sienna, perched at the front, looked ready to steamroll anyone who challenged her. Until I stood up. First, I laid out the pool agreement, undeniable, signed, binding. Then, I unveiled the boundary manipulations, overlaid maps showing exactly how Sunny Creek had been illegally creeping into Lakeview property. The room exploded in whispers. Rowan Hale himself stepped forward, confirming everything. Kevin spoke up next, reading from the board's own notes. Cornered, Sienna stammered about complex legal matters and misunderstandings. Nobody was buying it. By the end of the night, a motion was made to suspend her pending an investigation. The vote? Overwhelming. But then, karma set sail. The next morning, an anonymous email blasted through the neighborhood. Financial records. Proof Sienna had funneled HOA funds to her brother-in-law's fake landscaping company. $60,000 in fake invoices. Illegal property claims. Private legal fees paid with public HOA money. Kevin sent the email. And Sunny Creek residents, many who had voted for Sienna for years, were furious. The final blow, courtroom justice. Sienna tried one last desperate move, suing me for trespassing and damages. Bad idea. In court, our lawyer LRA ripped apart every accusation. Then she dropped the bombshell. Sienna had attempted property fraud 10 years ago by forging documents to steal land from Rowan. That's why Rowan had inserted the permanent pool access clause to protect his property rights after exposing her fraud. Judge Bradshaw, a sharp, no-nonsense woman, didn't need long. She dismissed the case with prejudice, ordered Sienna to personally pay my legal fees, and referred her to the district attorney for potential criminal charges. A new dawn. 1 month later, I got a letter. Sunny Creek HOA, under new leadership, formally apologized. They issued me a permanent pool access card and even invited me to join their neighborhood relations committee. Kevin was now the acting HOA president. The cherry on top? They installed a plaque by the pool entrance. In the spirit of community, this facility is proudly shared with designated Lakeview Estates neighbors. Poetic justice. Closing reflections, more than just a pool. That summer ended with block parties, pool parties, and neighbors who finally talked to each other. No invisible lines, no fake borders. Funny how standing up for one small thing can change an entire community. As Officer Asher said, in 15 years on the force, that's the most satisfying HOA takedown I've ever seen. And me? I'm just glad I didn't back down. Because when someone tells you you don't belong, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay right where you are. If you've ever had to fight for your right to belong, drop it in the comments. And remember, one voice is enough to start something they can't control.